Greeting, Christy. Let's critique your second project here. I'm not sure what's going on with Flickr. I still can't see the project 2 when I go to your site, but I did follow the link that you emailed me. It took me directly to that, so I'm not sure what's up with that. Hopefully we won't have any problems in the future. So, all right, let's take a look at the imagery here. All right, so with this image, I really like the motion. I like the composition. I like this sort of boom. I like the blue here. I actually want a little bit, maybe a little bit more of the blue down below. We have a little black negative space up here, which isn't doing anything. I don't want to completely crop that up, but maybe if I could take like half of that and add a little bit more grounding to this image, I'd like the composition a little bit better, and that would help. I'm trying to see if I guess there's a figurative element here that we might lose that I had to turn up my screen brightness to see that we might lose. I like that line and I like the subtlety of that line too now that I am able to see it. So maybe if you just backed up a step or something, a little more space around it, we could crop in later. But I just don't have quite enough blue down here. Well, a little bit more. Anyways, I like the composition. I like that diagonal action. I like the motion. I like the blue. I like the softness, but I do want to push it just a little bit. It feels a little dark to me. I want to lighten it up and can easily do that in an editor. You don't necessarily have to go retake the photograph. But I like a little bit more contrast. But it's a very interesting, mysterious photograph and has this figurative element, but you just get hints of it. And I kind of like imagery like that. With this one too, I love the intensity on the face, and I like that there's an interaction here between the painting with light and the face. This is really nice and sharp and crisp. I could see though, there's just too much going on out here that I don't think is active and interesting. I don't think we need that negative space out there. So if I could crop this image, maybe crop it like here. I don't know how that would look. I'm trying to crop it on the screen as I talk about it. And I want to keep the rectangular element too, but crop it like there. We can get rid of a little bit of that, and I think it helps the image and pumps it up. Other than that, either that or we need to give some more information, subtle information, kind of like you have in this previous photograph, that little subtlety of information. If we could get some subtle hints, a little painting of light on the background just to bring out a little bit of the environment, I think could really add to the photograph. It's a little floaty and this black negative space isn't activated as it sits. I'm not sure. I actually like the face better here. I like that again, a more neutral, somewhat more natural look on it, though I like this saturation and intensity in the previous image. So if we could, bring those two together, I think it'd be better. Still need some cropping though. I like this image. I like her look on her face. What a great look. And it's supposed to be panning. I either want her a little sharper or I want the background a little blurrier, but I like the leg. I like how this is blurrier, and we do have sharpness here where we want it. But I think I want that background just a ditch blurrier, and I think it might help. Though I like the color scheme, I like her placement, I like the composition, and I'm just getting a little nitpicky here, but I do think it would help the success of the photograph. In black and white, actually, I like it better, though almost she's too poppy. Like, back off on her a little bit, or I don't know, I like the richness of the background. She almost just separates too much from the composition here. So it's kind of the opposite of what I was saying, so now I have to rethink my previous comments, but yeah, maybe it's just the shirt. I don't know. Maybe it's just too much, but I love the richness in the background. The values and back here I think are gorgeous. There's just too much separation in the figure. In this one, yeah, I can see that on-camera flash is one of my guess. Yeah, fired. And I like the composition. I like the movement. I like the diagonals. She worked well with you. Good job. I like that, movement in there, and then the direct gaze into the camera. I almost like a little bit more of her figurative element here, because I can see it here, and I know it's here, and I want to pull that out. I also feel it's slightly underexposed, and the light's not real attractive. That happens with on-camera flash. It's really difficult to make that an attractive light. You really have to work with it or play with it, but So you could soften it with a sheet or piece of paper or something. Um, yeah, that's my biggest issue. I also, as it sits here without being able to see some of this information, I probably want to cut it off right here. If I can see that information, I don't know, I'd have to revisit it. But overall, I like the composition. I like the placement of the figure, and it's curious in how they're working, reacting. So I like that. Grayscale really feels muddy here. I really want to pop it out. I just want to grab it, and I want to push and pull and bring myself some contrast. And I think I could easily pull something more out here, but we'd have to work with this image. Maybe even selecting the figure locally and lightening her up, and then because the background, sometimes funny things can happen when we lighten up. But yeah, all right, that's where I'm at with that, Christy. I'm sorry. So hope that helps and gives you some insight. I'll leave it there.